What's going on? It's your boy Tunnel Vision. I'm on my way to the gym right now. It's early as hell. Well, it's not early. It's like 8:30? Yeah, something like 8:30. I gotta go to work. One of the places I work at later on. Get them ready for what's called a clear inspection, where they inspect the lab and everything to make sure they're still certified to do what we do. But first, we gotta hit this gym up. And while I'm on my way there, I figured, I might as well put out a video real quick. And we're gonna talk about Tank Davis today. You know, Tank Davis. Tank Davis? He's the greatest fighter in the world. He's gonna be a pay-per-view attraction. The greatest fighter in the world. In my Ellerby voice. You know what I mean? And the question I want to answer today is, Tank Davis, is he being pushed and moved the correct way? Has he been moved the right way? Because everybody has this assumption that he hasn't been and is being held back. But I don't believe that's the case. I believe they've done exactly what they needed to do when it comes to that boy. Exactly what they needed to do. You know, TMT, Mayweather Promotions, they know exactly what they're doing when it comes to that young man. You know, they came out the gate pushing him kind of fast. You know, he had a couple of fights, you know, when they signed him. They got him a title shot right away, pretty much, against the top guy in the division at the time. People forget that, too, that Pedraza not only was undefeated, but he was also rated the #1 guy at 130 pounds. Gets a fight again, they put him in there with him. He goes in there, beats him up, stops him. Didn't have the issues that, you know, Lomachenko had with him later on. You know, just stopped him. After that fight, you know, he had to fight his mandatory. They sent him to the UK. He fights his man in the UK. Takes care of that guy. I think they had like 30,000 people there too. You know, got two big paydays, especially that payday. That pay, I think they said they got like $1 million. So this is the first time this dude got any kind of real money now in his pocket. And that boy went crazy. You know, started getting into trouble when it came to his fight that he was supposed to have on the Maymac card. You know, on the undercard, I forget the fighter that he was supposed to fight, but that fighter had gotten hurt. And it's funny, a lot of people forget this too. They wanted Tevin Farmer to replace that guy. They wanted Tevin Farmer to be the one that he fought. You know, but Tevin Farmer said no. He said what he wanted to do was go fight, you know, for the mandatory spot, which is weird when you're giving your title shot. But he said, nah, he wants to go fight for the mandatory spot. So, you know, the title eliminator. He wanted to go do that. And then so, you know, he has a certain level of control. What control that boy's talking about, I don't know. You know what I mean? But because he wouldn't have no control over what's going on in that particular fight. But that's what he wanted to do. And so, you know, they got down, forget the name, the good dude that they ended up putting up there was nobody, a scrub. But, you know, dude misses weight by a couple of pounds. Like he misses weight, you know, has a weird performance. You know, he stops the guy and everything like that, but you know what I mean, it was kind of you know, he had a court case. You know, it was like a guy was gonna, you know, somebody from his gym was filing charges against him. You know, I guess, you know, they got into a little altercation, and I guess he assaulted the guy. He started getting into other issues, fighting people at bars, you know, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, you know, and being in spaces where he would not have made weight if they had set up fights for him. He was just going crazy, just going haywire, basically. So, you know, they put him on ice a little bit. You know, they put him on ice a little bit. They let him chill for a little bit. They ended up getting him, you know, a title shot on his next fight back. You know, he got that title, but they still, you know, kept things on ice a little bit with him because they understood that we need to slow the, you know, way down. We need to push it way, way, way back because maturity-wise, this guy's not there. And they understood that this guy is going crazy right now. You know, he's dealing with a lot of stuff. He's causing a lot of issues. He's causing a lot of problems, a lot of things that we probably don't even know about, especially when it comes to that weight. I'm not sure he would have been able to make weight for, you know, for fights. You know what I mean? If they had set up any kind of fights for him. So they were just being smart with it. And they let him go through all the little BS he was going through. You know, they left long periods of time where he wasn't fighting. You know what I mean? As I think that was a smart thing too. You know what I mean? The money starts to dry up, starts to get low a little bit. And that's what they basically did. And they waited and waited. And by being patient with him, he got to the point where, he started to get more focused, stopped getting into as much trouble, kind of understood that, hey, I need to make some changes. Went over to Florida, started training over there, started making, certain changes in his life. And you can even see now when he's talking in interviews, you can see he's making those changes and maturing as a person, especially now that he has a child now that he has. He has a daughter, so he understands now that, hey, the mistakes that you make don't only affect you anymore. They affect somebody that's very, very precious. They could affect her in a really bad way. So he's making changes in his life. He's been making weight for his fights. Making weight for his fights. Then they got him a fight against Mars. He was supposed to fight Mars. Mars got hurt. He's got a retinal tear or whatever it is. And I ain't heard a damn thing about no surgeries being done when it comes to that either. But he, quote, had a eye injury, and then they put a replacement in. They still packed the house out with that replacement. He still did like what, 600,000 or so on Showtime with that replacement. 500,000 was it? Don't remember the exact number. I'm not gonna go look it up right now. We doing this on the fly, but he did pretty good numbers with that. They had the next fight that he just had recently. He did over 600,000 views with that one on Showtime. He brought in, what, 14, 15,000 people? House was packed out to see that boy. And now they're in a space where they're like, yo, bring in that Tevin Farmer fight. Let's go do that. Let's even do a pay-per-view. And people saying that they're crazy for even wanting to be pay-per-view. But, I mean, what I've learned from these guys is that, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. And I think people might be underestimating they might actually be underestimating how popular Tank is and the following that he actually has. They might really be underestimating that. And the fight with him and Tevin Farmer, like on Showtime pay-per-view, even regular Showtime, would be huge. It would be huge. That could be a fight where actually somebody other than Wilder does over 1 million views on regular Showtime. You put that in the Barclays, packed out, 19,000, packed out, easy money. But it looks like Tevin Farmer, his contract with DAZN was up. He kept on calling Tank out over and over and over and again, going to different fights, trying to step up to Tank. I was actually at 2 different fights where he was trying to walk up to Tank. You know what I mean? So, and it's, now you have the opportunity to get the fight. All of a sudden, he's not talking about Tank anymore. All of a sudden, he's being made an offer, and now you're having DAZN make Tank an offer. What the fuck are you having to, what's the go, DAZN make a Tank an offer for? How many times have they told you that they're not fighting on DAZN? They're not fighting on DAZN. They're offering you a career high payday. You definitely can negotiate aspects of the gate. You can negotiate aspects of if it's pay-per-view, getting portions of that as well. But they're offering you $2 million. You know what I mean? And what does he try to take that? Nah, you want DAZN, a DAZN representative, Eddie Hearn, to make an offer, to make what's called Tank an offer, even though they've told you that they're not fighting on DAZN. You know what I mean? But now this is your opportunity where you can actually go there, beat Tank, and come back to DAZN like, yo, I got these 2 belts. I'm the man of the division. Pay me, my effers. Pay me, because if you don't pay me, Showtime's gonna pay me. Fox might pay me. ESPN's gonna pay me. You can put yourself into a space where now you can have an actual bidding war of you and get substantially more than whatever DAZN is offering you right now by going and taking that fight. You can go do that. You can go do the Deontay Wilder route. Okay, these guys don't want to fight me, this and that. All right, yeah, give me Luis Ortiz. Give me Luis Ortiz. Let me bang him out. Let me give Tyson Fury a 50-50. And bang him out. Now he's being offered $100 million deals. Just made $20 million off fighting Dominic Brazil. He's about to make a monstrous payday versus Ortiz. Make a monstrous payday versus Ruiz or versus Tyson Fury. He went in there, fought the fight that could elevate him to the next level, and went and leveraged that. and actually leverage at the fact that other people are getting big deals. He was able to go in there understanding that they're doing these deals with the hopes of getting them, him to fight them. He went and leveraged all that, got himself paid. So go ahead, go fight Tank. Go fight Tank. You know what I mean? And get that major leverage after that. And make a killing off paying what's to go fighting Tank. Record money as well fighting Tank. Fighting Tank. Go do that. But, if he decides not to do that, if I decides to go ahead and stay on the zone, what was he? His last fight, he was on the undercard of the Ramirez versus, what's his name? Hooker. A fight that, according to Bob Arum, only did 25,000 views on the zone. They had 5,000 people that attended the fight. A unification bout with you on the undercard. And those are the numbers that they put out. You want to keep doing that? By all means. Go back to doing that. Go back to being just in the undercards. You know what I'm saying? Fighting on a network that doesn't get viewership like that. Go ahead and do that. You can do that. Meanwhile, Tank's gonna probably fight, Santa Cruz. Make a killing off that in front of 15 plus thousand people at the Staples Center or at the Barclays. Fight Gamboa. And still do pack off 15,000 people. Still do 700,000 plus on Showtime. He has options, and he's going to keep moving. He's going to keep progressing, and reaching higher heights, fighting on a platform that people actually watch and see. That's what he's going to be doing, But everybody has their choices, But with the trajectory they're putting Tank on right now and the way they're flowing and moving him, I believe they're doing exactly what they needed to do with him because he was not in the mental space to be put into the situation that he needed to be put into. And people can talk all that junk. Oh, yeah, he should have fought Lomachenko. Lomachenko's bitch ass should have turned pro at 21. How about that? Why did he wait until he was 25 freaking years old to turn pro? Why are you 24, 25 years old fighting against little ass kids and amateurs? You're not in Cuba. You're not somebody that's in a regime that's, that's keeping you from going pro. You could have went pro at 21 years old. 20 years old. You're the greatest since Ali. You could have went pro at 19 years old, just like Floyd Mayweather did. You could have did that. After you won your first gold medal, you could have did that. But you stayed an amateur for 4+ more years. That was a grown ass man. How old is Tank right now? At this age right now, all the years that Tank has been fighting, Lomachenko was still an amateur in this time frame. Remember that. In this time frame, how old Tank is right now, people that he's fighting, at that age, he's still fighting substantially higher level of competition than Lomachenko was fighting. Because Lomachenko at this point was still fighting little kids. That's what he was fighting. He's keeping his ass as, as an amateur. Somebody else clearly very skilled on a whole different level than the people that he was fighting against. But he was still fighting against those amateurs. A couple more years Tank still has, where he's probably going to get other belts. And Lomachenko would have still been an amateur when he got all those belts. So, they're doing right by Tank. You know what I mean? They made sure his head was straight, his head was right. And, they're going to try to get the unifications that they can't get. Some people are assigned to other people where they're not going to want to do it. But they're going to fight the right fights for him. And they're going to move him in the right way. And in the end, Tank will come out on top. Long as he can keep himself focused. But absolutely, due to all the things that are going on in that man's life, the trouble that he was getting into, I know other people don't care about that. They're like, hey, they don't care if he gets knocked out. They don't care if he gets flatlined. They don't care if his life, is in shams outside the ring. They don't care because it's him. They don't give two shits. They don't care, But Mayweather promotion cared. And Mayweather Promotions understood what was going on. And that it was necessary to put him into the space that he needed to be in. Stood by him, and here we are. 600,000 plus people viewed, 15,000 plus people in attendance. And his next fight's going to be bigger. And the next fight after that's going to be even bigger. The next fight after that's going to be even bigger. And in 2-3 years, he will be where they said that he would be. So, it is what it is. Y'all be safe. I'm about to hit up these weights. See you on the next one.